Today, we're going to dive deep into a hidden dimension of time. Seriously, it's an idea that could change everything from how you handle your daily stress to how you see your life's ultimate purpose, all based on the book, A Time for Every Purpose.
So let me ask you this right out of the gate. Are you running your life, or is the clock? I mean, really think about it. Most of us feel it, right? That constant nagging pressure of the clock ticking. But what if we've been looking at the wrong clock this whole time?
The book just nails this feeling. It talks about how the clock has this stranglehold on us. We're totally obsessed with saving time or being in the right place at the right time. But when you live like that, it doesn't really feel like freedom, does it? It feels a lot more like tyranny.
Okay, so let's get into the core idea here. The book proposes something kind of radical, that beyond our wall clocks and our phone timers, there's another clock, a divine one. And it's been ticking since the dawn of creation, setting the rhythm not just for big historical events, but for your life and for mine.
This quote from the book of Daniel, it really gives you a different perspective, doesn't it? It suggests that all the big moments in history, the rise of empires, the fall of kings, they aren't just random chance. They're all part of a divine timetable, a grand overarching schedule.
Now, to really understand this divine clock, we need to learn a new language for time. You see, the ancient Greeks had two totally different words for time, and getting this distinction is the absolute key to unlocking this whole concept. So let's break them down.
And here it is, side by side. On one side, you've got Chronos. That's the clock time we all know and, well, live by. It's quantitative. You can measure it in seconds and minutes. But on the other side, you have Kairos, and this is a whole different ballgame. It's qualitative. It's about the right moment, the opportune time. It's not about how long something takes. It's about how perfect the moment is.
So yeah, Chronos is what we're all swimming in every day. It's sequential, it's measurable, the 24 hours, the 365 days. It just keeps marching forward, and it's usually what we feel like we're racing against.
But Kairos is different. It's not about the duration, it's about ripeness. Think of it like a perfect window of opportunity, a moment when all the conditions are just right for something specific to happen. It's not the time you count, it's the time that counts.
And if you want the most powerful example of a Kairos moment, here it is. The birth of Jesus wasn't just some random point on the timeline. The Bible specifically calls it the fullness of time, the perfect, appointed Kairos moment in all of history for that one event to happen.
Okay, so this whole Kairos thing applies to the grand scale of history, for sure. But what about us? How does it apply to our lives? How do we even spot these opportune moments? Well, the book suggests we need to start thinking in terms of seasons.
And this famous passage from Ecclesiastes is really the foundation for that idea. It tells us that our life isn't just one long, flat road of Chronos time. No, it's a series of distinct seasons, and each one has its own unique purpose. A time to plant, a time to harvest, a time to be silent, and a time to speak out.
So the real skill to develop here is awareness. You have to ask yourself, what season am I in right now? Is this a time for intense action, or is it a time for quiet preparation and getting ready? Are you meant to be learning, or is it time to start teaching and sharing what you know? Figuring this out changes everything.
And this next idea is so encouraging, especially if you've ever felt like you're stuck in a holding pattern, just waiting. The book calls these periods the silent years. It reframes them completely, not as wasted time, but as an absolutely essential, active season of training and growth.
And just look at this. This isn't some rare thing. The book shows it's basically the pattern for people with a huge purpose. Joseph waited 13 years in slavery and prison. Moses spent 40 years in a desert. David was on the run for more than a decade, and Jesus himself spent 30 years in obscurity before his public ministry even began. These weren't delays, they were the training ground.
King David's life gives us this incredible, stark contrast. You can see what happens when you act in Kairos and when you ignore it. When he waited for the right moment, for God's signal, he became king. But later, when he ignored the proper season, the text says he stayed home at the time when kings go out to battle. He walked straight into a personal disaster. It was the right person and the right action, but at the wrong time, and the results were catastrophic.
So the lesson from David's life boils down to this three-step process. First, you inquire. You figure out the plan. Second, and this is the hardest part for most of us, you wait. You let the timing ripen and unfold. You don't run ahead. And then third, when that opportune Kairos moment finally shows up, you act.
and you act with confidence.
Now, this all sounds great, but I know what some of you are thinking. What about the past? What about the years we feel like we've already messed up? The Kairos moments we've already missed? Well, the final section of the book addresses that head-on with a profound message of hope.
The book uses this really powerful metaphor from the prophet Joel: locusts. They're a symbol for all the things that have eaten away at our time, our potential, our fruitfulness, the mistakes, the wrong turns, maybe even whole seasons of destruction.
And right after that picture of devastation comes this incredible promise. It's not just about damage control or just moving on. It is a promise of active, divine restoration. The idea here is that God can literally give you back the years that were lost or wasted or stolen.
How is that even possible? Well, it's because God operates outside of our limited chronos-based reality. This biblical concept suggests he can compress time. He can help you accomplish in a single day what might have normally taken 1,000 years. He can restore what the locusts ate by supernaturally accelerating your harvest.
So we end with this question, a question for you to really sit with. Understanding the difference between clock time and opportune time, it's a total perspective shift. It's an invitation to stop fighting the clock and start discerning the season you're in. So what season are you in right now? And what is this very moment right for? Because in every moment there is a purpose just waiting to be seized.